Hey guys, this is DFD, aka Dark Frozen Depths, and this is going to be another pre-event discussion. I want to hop on this immediately after the previous event, because we just went through the whole thing with Vlad, and unfortunately, if you did not get Vlad, you probably missed out on her. So, it will be a while before she's added to that Dawn Orb thing, if she is added to it. But, we have a reprint that's going to happen, meaning that we're going to be able to go back and do this. Remember to farm extra stuff too, you'll see why. But given that this is a dark event and my strongest team is light, this is going to be a very, very easy cakewalk. Because just before we even get into details too, because there's also a darkness guild order. I haven't tried it yet because I've been so focused on the previous event. But whenever I'm going up against darkness, I get to do weakness damage, which is somewhere around 50% on average, I do believe. I'm not fully sure where it is. I know light and dark it might be less, but I know I get extra damage off of that. Anywhere between 20% to 50% more damage. But the big thing is the fact that my grid on this team is actually pretty strong. I mean, I've also got some very, very strong accessories. I even went and got another SSR another SR light accessory for Raphael. So if you want to compare my grid to this, I'll have it in the description below. But and I'll list all the details of everything I've got. But yeah, this I want to overkill this fight. Simple as that. Even with my R team. Anyways, being that this is a redo of Apocalypse, if you don't have her, you can get her. She's actually pretty good for Darkness and Fire because she can increase both by 40% elemental attack, so that's very good. Unfortunately, I have an Echidna that does 60 to both, so I don't need her. So if I happen to get copies of her, it's just to sell for Dawn Orbs. I'm actually getting pretty close to that 10,000 mark, so I'm looking forward to possibly getting another Kaz, or I might get the Fire one, maybe the Wind one to get another star on the Wind. But yeah, here's your target things to get. SSR weapons, SSR Dolan, self-explanatory. They suggest getting the gacha tickets as well, but they suggest getting the Kamihime release ticket and the one for the raid Kamihime. So if there's some that you didn't get before, or if you want to get more of their weapons, that raid ticket is the way to try and go for. But it says a low rate weapon. That means that there's one that you can exchange for that takes less materials. Yeah, that's priority compared to the high rate one, and I do believe that's the one that can go final break, the one that takes less materials. But yeah, they suggest also going for the other SSR if you can get it, Assault SR if you really need it, Defender SR if you need it, half elixir definitely, because if you're not able to go into the gem gacha, like I'm running low on gems, these half elixir can help you out. Plus, I haven't mentioned this before, but there's been an update long ago where you can burn through a lot of elixirs at once. You can put like 10 on there and get a massive bar of AP. Very good for grinding. It's not a bad idea. Get grimoires if you need them, of course. I wouldn't go too far on the soul points, but I don't know when we're going to get implemented to the point where we can use soul points to upgrade the souls that we already have. So, if you want to go out your way and get them, it's not a bad idea to prepare for the future. Just focus on other stuff first. And of course, magic jewels, definitely something to worry about too if you're a free player. If you're not a free player like me, then you probably could bypass that. But granted, if you are a free player and you get everything you should have, 3 gacha tickets that aren't limited to raid characters, and 3,000 magic jewels you can get. That's 13 pools. So, yeah. But of course, Apocalypse, I mentioned her. Also, something interesting too is the fact that when you use her, she comes out with a blind effect. So she's sort of reliable because blind isn't guaranteed to hit, but it does hit a lot. So that's something to know. Plus, blind has helped quite a bit from what I've seen. I actually like characters that can do blind, like Tsukiyomi, you know, because enemies tend to miss a lot with blind. So unless you're getting hit with their like full orb attack, their charges, you're going to see a lot of their attacks miss. So blind is actually considered to be a very good effect. Same thing with dazzle if it works, otherwise known as dizzy on our side. But yeah, final break. You can get this at Armageddon Land. So those of you that's gone through this before, because it's appeared I think at least twice, you can get 2 final break weapons off of this, guaranteed. And it happens to be the Armageddon Lance. It's got a large assault. That alone makes it very good. But you get a defender when you final break it, according to this. So that's also something to know about. This next one is, again, it's debatable. But it's suggested to get this too if you have Turner Block. I do. But if you have Pluto, it can also throw it off. See, this is where I say it's debatable because some Idolans do the same thing too, but it's a small assault first off. But its secondary effect is a middle rush, so I think that ups the double rate by I think 3% when you get to skill level 20. I can't even say max skill level anymore because of final break weapons, but anyways, when you get to skill level 20, I think it's 3% on double attack, maybe more. I don't fully know. It's like a lot of stuff I went over before. I just can't keep it to memory. But that's the thing. Rush is weird because double attack is checked before triple attack. That's something that's been confirmed. So if you don't get a triple attack, it can be one of two things: either it never triggered or it never got the chance to get checked for triggering. So rush can affect your triple attack a little bit, and triple is always better than double. That's why anytime you see barrage, go for it. But that's the whole thing. Characters that can buff triple attack can sort of get affected by it. Characters that are guaranteed double attack from certain skills, or in the case of Sabo all the time, also affects their triple attack. So stuff like this is debatable if you really want to be honest. Me personally, I think you should go for it depending on what's with it. Small assault, not really out of your way to go for, but if you're a newer player, you definitely need all the SSR you can get just to start off. So it's up to you on that second weapon. That's the best way to go about that. And this is one of the Advent events, so you are on your own. Unlike the previous event we just had where you can get help, Advent, you have to be strong enough for this one. Thankfully, since it's darkness, you don't have to worry about elemental weaknesses being tossed at you. But if you got a light character, light characters, but if you got a light team, go for them. Because they'll get a nice little boost. I think they take slightly less damage. I don't fully know, but they definitely do more. And then on top of that, we get Ragnarok, of course. You have to do Ragnarok for final breaks. So don't just be so quick to trade for Dragonic Eye Shards as well. Make sure you have enough for final breaks if you're really focused on that. Me personally, I'm not worried too much about final breaking dark weapons. I'm more worried about getting them. Because it's one of my few grids that don't have SSR filling the whole thing. So it might be a good idea for me to get both. Especially since I had Chernobog but not Pluto. And then I know Awakened Susanna O is actually pretty strong. Especially considering the fact that the longer a fight goes, she starts getting stronger and stronger. She can essentially double her attack power and double her ability damage. Which technically makes her ability damage times 4, I think. But I don't know full numbers on that. That Assault Rush that I mentioned would actually still help them, so I could go out of my way to actually get that, but I'm more focused on getting the Lance first. I I haven't finished off the first one, so I got a second one to go after now. But same standard stuff. There's beginner, standard, expert, ultimate, Ragnarok. You're going to have to clear expert and ultimate with an SR team. Ultimate has to get cleared with an R team on top of that, so that's always the same mission. And of course, clear expert, ultimate, Ragnarok without using an elixir, so make sure you're strong enough for those. They never seem to have the enemy stats for a lot of this crap. It seems like they're just missing a lot. But they do have this right here. Now, you have to be careful about some of this stuff because she can blind you. So, that's something that's pretty bad. So, normal bursts is, be wary of that. You might want to have somebody that can remove effects or just protect you against it. Raging, though, is going to be a problem because she will randomly hit 2 people from what I can tell. And even the white characters will start taking a lot of damage, so be careful. So definitely bring your attack downs. In my case, I get 3 of them. But it's recommended to definitely have somebody that can help you out with those resistances. I think that's Kamihime they're talking about for the R characters. But I know for a fact that Apocalypse, her resistances ain't too great either. Kamihime can put a lot of debuffs on her, so if you happen to have gotten her, she's not a bad idea. I would still get somebody like Mordred for your soul, so that helps out even further, but yeah. But in my case, I got some powerful tools, and then on top of that, some stuff don't come into effect unless I use Herc, so I got her. But pretty cheap to actually get Apocalypse, so, and it's cheap to get her weapon as well. But if you're trying to final break, make sure to get some extra materials for that. So that's a big thing right there. It even says flat out, you're going to need an extra 45 of the silver item and an extra 25 of the gold. But that's the whole thing with that. Of course, you're seeing normal stuff, the grimoires, the gacha tickets, all that. You can trade for Dragonic Eye Shards. I suggest you do so, but also make sure you have enough Phantom Cores in order for the final break, because you're going to need those. But that is definitely a small defender. It still helps. Because the biggest thing about when you build up your grids is the fact that you definitely need HP, you definitely need attack power. The extra effects can be good. Especially if you really have something overpowered, like, say, the critical or the barrage. Critical is called Stinger, I do believe. But, that's the whole thing with those. And it's saying that you need a Lightning attribute to clear Ultimate, so I'd have to use Thunder R. If I want to clear them both at the same time, I need Thunder and the R team, so it'll be interesting, especially considering the fact that Thunder is my weakest element. What do they have against Thunder? Anyways, that's the whole thing with that. So it's the same standard stuff when you're trying to clear these extra missions, which I suggest you do so because they give you a lot of good stuff. Including a Dragonic Eye Shard, but yeah. In these events, every time they pop out, you can get 3 Dragonic Eye Shards. Now, if they happen to do another double reprint ever again, then you'll be able to get like 6 of them at once. But that's the whole thing with that. Now, normally I'd end this video here, but there's more. Like I said, there's a second dark thing going on. We're going to be checking that out. Guild Order. The Dullahan. Now, I've heard of a little bit about this stuff, and I've gone through this page a little bit, but yeah, see, here's the whole thing with this. This is very big on status elements, so be careful, especially around a boss fight. But first round, you're dealing with somebody that can hit everybody, somebody that can put up barriers, and then somebody that can stack attack down. I think this is one of the first times we face an enemy that can stack attack down on you. So was rare if you got stackable debuffs. I know Caspiel, both versions of her can do it. But now you have to face them. And that's just the first round. Second one, definitely get rid of the middle enemy, or you will get nuked pretty hard. But the thing is, though, too, that you can get hit with some pretty nasty stuff like Charm now from one of the enemies. So, but again, that middle one is dangerous. Anytime I say that, you're best going after them, or you could end up seeing somebody die. And of course, you have the mid boss of 3 million. It's usually the same. Like, they usually just attack randomly 5 times. Just hope the same person doesn't get hit too much. Now, here's 2 things you really have to worry about. Don't even worry about the barrier character. Because it does invalidate a few attacks, but it's still not as detrimental as you think. That middle enemy is definitely a target. 4 times hit randomly. And from my experience with Guild Order, I tend to get hit a lot on the same character when they do those random effects. Well, not just Guild Order, too. I've seen it happen on Vlad's event. Like, she did her burst nuke, and she had no elemental effect, so she randomly hits people, decides to hit one person for 15,000. And unless I'm taking an Adolan that increases my HP, I'm not going to see anybody past 15,000. So, that's an insta-kill. That's just from personal experience. These enemies cannot be underrated. Like, you need to make sure of that. But there's also an enemy up there that can increase double and triple attack rate. You can start taking a lot of damage if you're with that one. If you're like me and have Raphael, she'll be a great help in this. Because she can manipulate burst turns, lower attack power if need be, and then stick these guys in dizzy sometimes for hitting their turns. But speaking of status effects, this is where it gets very, very tricky. Now, she's got a special behavior right here, where she will cause instant death to someone. So, you need to be able to remove this. I can't see, by the writing it says it's one person, but from other people's experiences, it hits everybody. So, you have to be able to do this. When her charge is max, or when she gets stunned, that's when she won't do that. But, apparently, it seems like she'll always do this outside of that. Either way, be very, very careful. It's best to drag the instant death out. So, the third turn, hopefully, the person that can remove the effects is not dead. In my case, that'll be Soul. But I can still toss an extra effect on, say, Herc, and then do that, too. But here's the whole thing. Be very careful of that. Instant death, one of the worst ones to deal with. As it says, you will die when it activates. And I think this one bypasses the regen effect too, because remember before that you can use a regen ability where it will heal you after the instant death is already activated and it saves you from it. But I wouldn't risk it. I would just remove the effect entirely. But she can cause it says corruption on here, but it's actually putrefy. She can cause putrefy, so that's another one. So Awakened Soul definitely helps because she can remove 2 effects, not 1, and also heal you by a lot. But she can hit everybody with Putrefy. She can randomly hit very, very hard in Raging. Try to make sure she's not enraging. You're honestly better off dealing with the normal. If you have Raging on her, you better be ready to nuke her to oblivion. But it's definitely that instant death that's a problem. And I don't know if the weeks are already passed, but we've already got these missions. I'm not going to go too far over it, but you will more or less see that. But they're suggesting you have Andromeda for one and then have Solomon for another. Solomon. Solomon would have been useful as ever. But she's all ability damage. Like, her one nuke isn't too great unless you're facing a Phantom Male enemy. And she's just stacking ability damage to herself if you really want to be honest. So, yeah, that kind of holds Solomon back a little bit. But Andromeda, oh, she's nice. She heals a lot, puts up some very good defenses. She can revive people. And honestly, given the nature of things, I would put Vivian's extra skill on her too if you could spare the debuff slots. So there you go for that. But this guild order can be dangerous if you do not clear that death. It says normal attacks are not done except for during stun. I had to go down here and clear that up. So yes, she will always cause instant death while hitting everybody. But it does seem like it's only one person instead of the entire team. But if you do get duplicated with it, it does buy you some time. So say she hits the same person twice. Yeah, it will reset it back to 3. So that can save you a little bit. A little bit. Still, have somebody that can clear it. It will keep you safe. Like I said, drag it out as much as possible. But you have to be very, very careful. That's the biggest thing about this. But definitely, Awakened Soul. Very, very, very good. But anyways, that's all I got for this. There's a little bit of suggestions on Kamihime that you could use. Honestly, the way I found it works for Guild Order, you need specific things for the fights, but you definitely need to bring out whoever you can and bring out your best. Especially in the case when you start breaking out our characters when they have those missions. But yeah. Anyways, that's all I got for this video, guys. There's definitely going to be more of this soon when it happens, but like I said, it's going to be a while for the next event, and I'm going to have to run through Guild Order at least once just to test the waters before I go recording it. I mean, I haven't really been worried about Guild Order too much. I haven't gotten too many weapons I can really final break. I mean, I got a Thunder Gun that I can do it too, but I got 2 copies of them. That means I need 6 Archalicum, which means 2 Guild Orders, regardless. And then on top of that, I also need to get like 20 Lightning Regalias, and then grind the crap out of the Thunder quest in order to get some extra stuff. Honestly, I don't even think that Thunder weapon's worth it, because it ends up getting Pride and well, it does get Pride and Stinger, I do believe. I don't like Pride mixed with Stinger too much. I would rather it be Assault and Stinger. But I don't know. Honestly, I'd still have to sip and get both weapons at skill level 20 and then max them out at level at 125. So yeah, before I can do all that, that's a lot of preparation. But yeah, I'll try to do this Guild Order, especially since Light's my strongest team. But no guarantees, especially with that death effect. Oh boy, that looks annoying. But and I don't even know if it's guaranteed to stick, but you do want to have some resistance if you cannot remove it. Anyways, again, that's all for this, guys. And like I said, if you're curious about where my white team stands, because they are my strongest, that's in the comment. It's in the pinned comment, so check that out. But anyways, that's all I got for this video, guys. Take care.